I'll do it live.
That's the first thing that I heard. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. There's actually a decent amount of stuff to talk to today, unlike the last 2 weeks, I feel like. But before we get into that, obviously, we got to start the show with what we've been playing and what's been going on. So, whoever wants to start that, get us started.
I haven't really been doing much, so I guess I could start.
Sure.
Um, I mean, yeah, and I mean, ever since I beat Metaphor, I've just kind of been thinking of what to play next, and I was like, oh yeah, I was playing another game before I was playing Metaphor. I was like, I might as well finish that. So I'm just kind of working on my backlog at the moment. So I was playing Odin Sphere before, and I was going like I was almost like halfway through it, and I stopped playing obviously because Metaphor came out. But now I just continued playing that yesterday, and I've pretty much just been playing that since. And yeah, now I'm starting to get to the end of it, and yeah, it's a great game. Also been playing like like after work I've also been like going on my 3DS here and there as well, playing some like Etron Odyssey. It's basically like this game where you kind of create your own party. You have like all these default classes you could pick from, and you can name all your characters. It's pretty unique in a way where you don't. It's not like an RPG with established characters. It's more like you kind of make up your own characters. So I kind of like that. Plus, these you have all these dungeons that you have to like draw out, and they're all very nice and complicated. So yeah, that game's also pretty good as well. So I've been playing that just here and there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been
Nice.
busy with other stuff, so I guess Mike, you're up.
Uh, Dragon Age Veilguard, which we'll talk about later, and a
Yeah.
whole lot of Darktide. Darktide has kind of taken over my entire existence. I
Yeah, it's
am no
been like that for
longer a
the past
human
like
being.
month.
I am a soldier of the or reject that is meant to serve the Imperium of Man. No, seriously, this game has absolutely taken up all my free time when it comes to playing games. It's actually a problem. Like like I'm very happy I'm going back to work soon because holy shit. Um, this is kind of not so much I've been playing this game. In fact, I just got a penance in the game yesterday, which is like think of like in-game achievements called Mission Improbable, and I'm like, that's weird. What the hell is that? And I Google it, and I'm like trying to find answers, and I find a Reddit post someone saying like, this is like one of the most difficult things I've ever done. Like in a video game, I never
Mhm.
want to. I got to take a break from this game for a while,
Or you
and
just kinda casually
apparently
got it?
and I
Like
casually got it. I wasn't even trying to. Apparently,
like, just
I had
happened
to win.
naturally.
The easiest way to say it is I had to win 700 missions, like of this game. And that like doesn't when you're playing like Call of Duty, like what's the big deal? Because those games like matches last like 10 minutes. Some of these matches sometimes last upwards of like 45 minutes, 40
Yeah.
minutes. And like when I saw that, dude, like I literally said to myself and to like I'm so happy I'm going back to work. This is fucking insane. This needs to end. Like
That was just
this,
like a casual thing that you weren't even
this
working
like
towards,
I was just like I've gotten so many like I got one thing that's like Purge the Heretic 3 or whatever. It's like kill 100,000 heretics. I'm like, oh my fucking god, that's
Mhm.
insane. I and it's like I just love this game though, so I'm gonna pretend like I'm not having fun or it hasn't been worth it
Yeah.
because it has absolutely been
I
worth it.
mean, if you put all your Doom Eternal hours together, I'm sure that's a big number, right?
Oh, dude, I couldn't even. I mean, altogether, I know Doom Eternal. I have about like
Mm.
2,000 hours combined, somewhere around there. I'd have to go look at my Xbox, because
Yeah.
I moved over to Steam eventually. Um, but man, like I started playing Dark Tide on Steam like in very late September. All right,
Mhm.
like I have like about 270 hours now. That is very not okay. So, um, I am not okay. The heretics aren't okay because they're dead because I killed them. But yeah, I've been having an absolute blast with this game. I have no intention of like even stopping anytime soon because they're planning on, by the sounds of it, dropping some more content. They've been teasing. They released a trailer, like a teaser the other day, where like the message of it was "Death is just a door," and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" So it's like we wonder, meaning people playing it, like, is certain characters coming back? Are we getting new
Mhm.
content? What's going on? So I am very much ready to drown in the new content.
That's good. I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
All in the service of the God Emperor of mankind.
I still need to play
Wow.
COD.
You haven't played COD
Say
yet?
Matt.
I played Black Ops 1 the other day with my brother, but I haven't played the new one yet.
Did you play? You didn't play the beta at all?
Well, I played the beta, yeah. I just haven't played the the released version, like the launch, full
My
version. I
God.
haven't played yet.
Are you
I
okay?
said I don't know. I guess I'm just too lazy because I know installing that's gonna be a pain. I'm going to okay. And I
Make
just
sure you delete a bunch of the stuff you don't want, like, because when you install it, they'll install every single thing that the HQ app has.
yeah. That's what I'm
And
not looking forward to. Like, and every time, like, I should probably do that tonight and then just have it
you
overnight.
should. It won't take long.
Yeah, I just got to do that.
It will
Because I
not
know
take
if I
long
do
at
it
all.
during the day, I'm gonna have to go down, hardwire my Xbox, and then because it's gonna take a while if I do it through Wi-Fi.
I mean, yeah, because your internet is horrible. So
Yeah,
probably
especially in
will.
this room. Yeah, especially in this room. But trust me, it
Yeah.
was really good in my other room. It was actually like really good, but now it's shit.
Was it really good?
No, it
No,
was
no, like
not.
Was it?
for like 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, it was really good. Then I had to move to this room,
Was
and it
it?
was shit. And now it's shitting. And no, I swear to God, I had the screenshot of like my up and down. Like it was really good. It was like
What was your
200,
up
Oh,
and down?
200.
100
It was like 300
megabits?
down, like 300 up. It was actually crazy. Like now
well,
it's just the
it never materialized on this end. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll let you
No,
know right now,
we
Twan. Be
haven't had that
careful with
much
me.
opportunity to do it. Trust me, it was good. But
I'll trust you. I'll trust that you believe that. I'll tell you that
for a
much.
while it wasn't good. Then we switched to Bell. Then and then it was good for a
What are
while.
these fake ass companies over there? What do you guys got going on? What's going on?
What's the name of the company? Bell?
Bell, yeah. So we
Bell
used to have
Peppers?
Rogers, and then we switched to Bell after. So yeah, Rogers has like a monopoly in Canada. Rogers and Bell, those are pretty much the only two
Switch
providers
to
you're gonna find
Loopies
here.
next.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go to Fruit Loops next.
Well, what do you have there in the United States? So what kind of
Uh,
service you got?
I mean, honestly, pretty much the exact same thing, just different names. Spectrum,
Spectrum.
Infinity.
AT&T does it. Verizon does. They do their FiOS fiber stuff.
Yeah.
But pretty much, I mean, where I'm at, it's pretty much Spectrum kind of has a
What?
monopoly.
Just like so, yeah, like two things have monopoly essentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
That's
because
pretty
like
much.
Unfortunately.
here, because especially with phones, like
Well,
for
matters where you
example,
are,
What's going
unfortunately.
on,
yeah,
blind? Oh,
yeah, but here, for example, there'll be a bunch of phone providers, right? But it's basically just Bell and Rogers in disguise. That's all it really is at the end of the day. So they're like, oh, there's Fido, but Fido's Rogers. Oh, there's Virgin Mobile. Oh, that's Bell. There's just shit like that.
yeah, same, pretty much.
Yeah.
So what I've
Okay,
been playing is just like last week. You can see it on screen, and I'll talk about it. And I promise we're not going to talk about it too long. Like I know the last 2 weeks we've started the show at Dragon Age, and it's kind of gone on for like because I've kind of pushed it on for like 20 minutes at a time. I'm gonna do my best to not do that. It'll be a couple minutes at most. But I've been playing Dragon Age. I've been playing a really, really insane amount of Dragon Age in a very, very small amount of time. So the game came out the 30th? It's the 12th. I beat the game.
nice.
And I beat the game with a playtime of on my save, like on the save file, it says I played for 109 hours. Basically 110, like 109 and like 50 some minutes. So I'm right now I'm working on a review. I recorded some stuff today. I need to capture more gameplay, which I'll probably be doing a lot of tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'll just to give like a very mini no spoiler review, and that's also what my video will be. It won't be any spoilers. I saw a tweet that kind of summed it up. I think the guy ended up saying he gave it like a 8 out of 10. I'd probably be a little bit higher than that. I'm probably like 8.5 out of 10 on the
Mhm.
game. But his reasoning for his score, I kind of agree with. He said like the first part of the game, there's 3 acts. Act 1, the dialogue is very weak. It's very cringe. Yeah, it's hard to really care about any of the characters, honestly, in the first act of the game. The second act of the game improves a lot on that stuff. Dialogue wise, obviously the story starts to pick up. You're dealing with more things happening at once in the overarching story, plus all the companion side quests and everything. So Act Two starts to really pick things up, and then Act Three. I told Mike this yesterday, and I don't have like a ton of experience with the old Dragon Ages. I know people are going to say those are better, and maybe they are. I've tried playing them; they just don't click with me. But as somebody who loves Mass Effect, and I beat Mass Effect 1 and 2, and if I had to guess, I'm probably about 80% done with Mass Effect 3. I just never finished it because I got sidetracked, and I kind of want to restart the whole thing and get to Mass Effect 3's ending. But between Mass Effect 1, 2, and what I've played of 3, the ending to this game might be the best thing BioWare's ever done. To the point where I saw people in the preview saying that they reminded them of Mass Effect 2, and I was waiting for it to get to the part where it reminded me of Mass Effect 2, and it didn't. And like it was good the whole way through. It just wasn't Mass Effect 2 good.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a little bit disappointed, and then I got to the end, and once I rolled credits on the game, I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Like I can totally see why somebody would say that's like Mass Effect 2. It was just really amazing. But I'll have some more in-depth thoughts on that in an actual video that I'm working on. Blind in the chat says, I've been playing Death Stranding 2 on PC and getting pretty immersed in it. Enjoy the game, Blind, because Death Stranding is just... I love that game. In fact, once I beat Veilguard, my plan was to maybe stream some Death Stranding here on the channel, because I do want to beat that game again.
On
And
Xbox.
yeah, I've already beat it on PC.
Yeah.
And I really want to beat it on Xbox. So like that's kind of on my
Is
to-do
it
list.
is it a separate achievement list?
Yes, it is actually, because
Xbox?
I popped an achievement in like the first hour playing on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I got the achievements from when I played it on PC. I didn't beat it on PC Game Pass. I ended up beating it on Steam. So I
Well, the
got
PC.
What's
Sorry,
that?
the version on PC Game Pass was the original Death Stranding,
That
not
was
the
the original
director's.
Death Stranding.
Okay.
This is the what they brought to
Yeah.
PC, Microsoft Store, and console is director's cut.
Mm-hmm.
But the one in Game Pass a couple years ago was just the regular
Yeah, the original one. Yeah.
Death Stranding. Which
Okay.
I'm kind of glad I didn't beat that one. I'm kind of glad I waited to beat the director's cut, because apparently director's cut made a lot of improvements and added a lot of content.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with that,
Has
honestly.
it
So,
added gameplay? I'm just kidding. I've never played it.
Oh.
dude, Mike, I know it's gonna. I just know you're never gonna play that game, Mike. But I'm
Yeah,
telling you, if you
it's not
did,
really my type of game.
no, because Mike, Mike. I love you, bud. But there's cutscenes in there that are so goddamn long. It would
Mm-hmm.
probably
How
drive
long
you
are some
ins.
of
Like I clocked one at probably I don't know, above 25 minutes.
That's fucked.
There's cutscenes in there like that where it's like, and I don't mind it because the story is fucking incredible. I mean, it's batshit insane,
Fair.
but once you're into it,
It's a Kojima game, all right.
yeah, exactly. Like
That's
he's completely insane, but once you're into the story and invested, you kind of can't stop. You can't stop being invested. But there's parts in there, Mike. In fact, what I'll do if I end up streaming the game at any point, I'll let you know when I'm playing those parts so you can see them. Because,
Okay.
dude, there's parts in that game that I know for a fact you would love. I fucking know you would. Like, and I'm talking not just like story stuff, but gameplay things.
I know you told me
that
there's
are in
like
there.
part that's like running through trenches and shit.
Yes, it's like,
Yeah, I gotta
oh,
continue
man,
playing that
it's
game again.
so
I was
good.
like 20 hours. I was like 20 hours deep, and yeah, but then obviously, like like a Dragon came out, Persona 3 came out, and ever since then I just haven't gone back to it. But it was really,
Yes.
from what I played, it was really good though. like the amount that I played. Like very very unique game for sure. You know, very Kojima.
Yeah, that's definitely unique's a good way to
Yeah.
describe that. That's definitely the
But yeah,
most
it's a very
unique
very
game I've
game.
played.
Sure. Yeah, it's very unique. But like, I know
Because
Mike's the type of guy. He likes to play games that makes his fingers bleed. So I don't really know if it's like that's the kind of game for Mike.
it might, if as
I have to
long as
move
you're
my
if you're
fingers.
playing it right, it might.
Yeah.
It might, yeah.
It might.
I have to actually move my fingers, and Twan thinks I want my fingers to bleed.
Blind says the game is really good on Steam Deck too. Yeah, it's verified
good.
on Steam Deck. I played. In fact, when I beat the game, I played. I wouldn't say half of it on Steam Deck, but I played like a fair amount
Yeah, I'm curious how the
of
iPhone
it on
version
Steam Deck.
was.
Dude, I don't know. I don't even.
Because
I don't even want to
I
find
know
out.
they,
Honestly, I'm not curious how it runs. I
'cause,
think they can keep
yeah, I
that.
remember that. That was like back when like Apple's all like, oh, this is the new iPhone's gonna be like a console, and then
Yeah,
they
good luck.
announced Google and like freaking. Has it really announced any other games? I think they kind of slowed down with that whole thing.
Well, I'm pretty sure because they brought a bunch of like didn't they bring like Resident Evil 7 and Village and
No,
stuff to
they brought Resident Evil 7 Village and the remake, the RE4 remake.
yeah
They
to
also brought over
iPhone and they all
Destiny.
ran like dog shit.
And I think Assassin's Creed was also supposed to release. I don't know if it did.
It did. Assassin's the new one. I forget the name of it. Mirage.
Mirage.
It did. Wow.
Yeah, and like they're like we're gonna make the iPhone a console, and then they realize that all the people who play on iPhone are like, we just want the game to be free, and we just want a free to play FPS game.
We just want to play Candy Crush,
Pretty much. And then they're like, oh, okay, so then this is pointless. We don't need to do this. So
yeah, I don't even think it sold that well. I'm pretty sure it sold like ass. Those versions of the game.
Wouldn't be surprised. I don't know who's buying those. Like the mobile gamers aren't buying it because they just buy it on a console.
Yeah, for one, you're not gonna play that game with touchscreen controls. Like that's just not happening. And then not only that, you got to carry around like a backbone or a controller. You got a Bluetooth. It's just too much. It's too much to ask for the customer.
The Steam Deck is literally right there.
Yeah, I know, right?
It is right there.
Other than carrying your phone and like an Xbox controller, just grab the Steam Deck and boom, everything's in there. Just
but
Switch.
Speaking of the Steam Deck,
oh yeah, they announced the new one or whatever. Right?
The new one, and my God, dude, I tell you what, if I had money to burn, oh man, I'd have that. I'd have that so quick.
How much is it?
Dude, it's like $680. It's like a special. It's a special edition.
Oh.
All white Steam Deck, and which here's the thing, all white electronics. I love the idea of them, and then you get them, and no matter how clean. Yeah, no matter. Well, I'm not picking up my Series S, so it's not a problem. But no matter how fucking clean your hands are, they just get dirty, and it's a cool thought. Like all white Steam Deck is a really cool thought. Probably until I have it for about a year, and it's kind of dirty, and it just kind of looks gross.
You don't want this?
But yeah, that thing looks sick.
You want it, one?
Wait, what?
Did you not? I think someone walked into his room and said, "Do you want this?" I don't know. Just giving him shit for nothing.
Just imagine Twan getting hit in the face.
Sorry. I was muted for a sec.
No, you're good.
Oh wait, so what was going on again? So
I was just talking about the Steam Deck, but we were talking about that.
I was gonna say one thing. I don't know, man. You don't keep your hands clean, because I was gonna say
I obsessively wash my dude, especially after the pandemic. I obsessively wash my hands
because I got obviously the PS5 controllers away, and I don't know. I feel like those are usually pretty clean, at least for me.
Well, mine's clean, but then again, I don't fucking use my PS5.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
what's the point of using it?
But I'm someone who always uses it, right?
Well, that's.
I mean, think you always use your PS5. To be honest with you,
it's good to know that you do that.
Using it for 1 month at a time, and then you stop.
Yeah. Plus, I got to be real. When I do play my PS5, I have a black controller. That was one of the first things I got. I got the black controller for it. So I mean, I have the white controller, but I don't use that thing really.
Yeah.
Um, my Series X or my Series S controller, I know that's clean. I know that's
Yeah.
clean and that's white,
So that should be, yeah, because the console's white, so I guess that makes sense.
but Blind did bring up Death Stranding. We talked about it for a second, but Death Stranding
Yeah.
did come to Xbox, and that's part.
Congratulations. Xbox
That's
finally has a game.
And I'll tell you what. Don't be like anybody watching this after the fact, or even right now. Don't be an asshole like I was, and be one of those people who's like, "Oh, it's a bullshit game. It's doesn't have any gameplay, and it's trash and garbage, and I'm never gonna play it." Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Just like
Okay.
I know I did it.
That's
I know
fine.
I did
That's
it, and
fine.
I'll totally admit that, and I'll also totally admit that I was entirely wrong. That
Yeah.
game is incredible. If you feel like you might even be remotely interested in it, like if you're somebody who likes Kojima stuff and you're just not sure about that game for whatever reason, please play the game. In fact, I think it's on sale right now. I think the sale goes to like the 21st. It's
Well, the
like
game is
half
only like
off.
$20. It only
Yeah, it's
launched like
half
20
off
bucks.
right now. So,
So that's even better. Like,
well, yeah, well, no, it's a $40 game, but it's half off $20 right now.
okay, I see now.
So
Yeah.
and that goes, I believe I checked, it goes until the 21st. So
I
if
guess
you're
why not?
even yeah, if you're
Yeah.
even vaguely interested in it at all, give it a shot. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's not the end of the world, but I got a
Yeah.
feeling if you're interested at all, you'll probably end up liking it.
I mean, I feel
Um,
like people need to support new IPs like this. They're just very unique game made by talented devs. Like I just feel like it's a game that people should support.
especially
It's just
after
good
the
for the
way
industry.
Konami did Kojima. Jesus Christ,
I know, right? Yeah.
that man,
He's
that
talking
man,
about Jeff Keighley's gonna have him up on stage again for 50 minutes.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
yeah.
worry about it. He's
Jeff
fine.
Keighley's gonna perform a 3-hour secret handshake with him at the Game Awards. Oh my god.
But
He's
something that's
fine.
also interesting though is that a first party Sony engine is on Xbox now, which is pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
the Decima engine, which is
So that was like
kind
a
of
riot,
weird to
the
think
Guerrilla
about.
Games, right? Like
Yep,
yeah, someone had to go on the Wikipedia page and update that to put Xbox Series X.
a proprietary engine by Sony is running a
Yeah,
game.
it's
That's
on
weird.
Xbox. Yeah, I know,
Uh,
right?
I'll
Weird.
I'll say this. Well, Death Stranding's better than Horizon, so don't get discouraged by that if you hear that. Death Stranding's way better than Horizon. Um, but this actually is part of a bigger deal where obviously Kojima gets the rights to Death Stranding back because I believe it was a Sony IP, Sony owned IP, and then Sony sold it back to Kojima. Um, we
So I
don't
wonder
really
how
know.
that affects Death Stranding too. Then there's probably some
Well,
still. There's
that's
probably some
kind of
deal
the
in
question.
place. I imagine. So I imagine there's
That
a deal in place still though.
that's the question is, but if there's a deal, like I would also agree, there's probably a deal in place. Like I think Death
Mhm.
Stranding 2, after this news, I think it will come to Xbox. I don't think it's going to be day and date like it is on PlayStation.
100% no. Yeah.
I think it'll probably be, a couple years. Knowing Sony, I wouldn't be too surprised if it ended up being like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Like I could see Death Stranding 2 launching on the next Xbox, being like a kind of a launch thing for the
Oh
next
yeah.
Xbox. I could see that happening. Um, but I don't think it's going to be right away. But it is interesting to bring up because Kojima does now own the IP, and it does open up that question of, okay, are we actually going to see Death Stranding 2 on Xbox?
Or
And
the next Nintendo console, right?
oh, dude,
Yeah. I mean,
I would absolutely assume at least Death Stranding 1 will
yeah.
be
Like,
on the next
if any,
Nintendo.
yeah. If anything, I'd be surprised if the original Death Stranding didn't make it on the next Switch at some point. You know,
Dude,
I'd kind of
I
expect that. I mean, if Kojima got the game on iPhone, I'm expecting it to go on the next Switch.
yeah,
100%.
there's no way they
Yeah.
put that on a phone and they're not going to put it on a Nintendo Switch. There's just no possible
Yeah.
way. If they can get it
Yeah.
running on the Switch, they will get it running and it will be there.
Well, it's pretty funny, like, cause like when you think about it, that game's kind of pretty much almost on everything except for the Switch at this point. You know,
Exactly. I totally think it'll be there. I even think then Death Stranding 2 will be on the next Switch. Again, not day and date, but I think it'll
Mhm.
be
Need to run
there.
the rest real quick. Sorry, guys. One second.
Go
Well,
for it.
yeah, no worries. But I mean, that's if the Switch could even the next Switch could even
I
handle
think
it,
it'll be
right?
able to handle. I mean,
We'll see.
again, it's like the whole selling point of these consoles right now is 4K and
Yeah,
60 FPS.
you'll just
The
have to be
Switch,
downscaled a bit, probably. Yeah,
yeah, the Switch doesn't need to do that. It can run
yeah,
the it can run Death Stranding 2 at like 1080p 30 and people will be fine with it.
yeah. Or if
Uh
1080p 20, people will still be fine with it.
yeah, very low standards on the Switch for performance. I mean, look at those Pokemon games.
Yeah, right.
Blind Giant says, "Do you think Death Stranding 2 will be day and date on PC?" Uh
I don't think so. It'll
so
probably
Tuan
come like
doesn't think so.
I mean, it'll probably come like a few months later. Like I think it's not gonna be as long as like a first party Sony game, but it won't be like day and date. I don't think because I mean the original Death Stranding didn't release on PC day and date, but it did release on PC not that long after though. Like I
Here's
don't even think it was a year. Like
Yeah, it didn't take too long to come to PC, but here's the thing. That was a Sony owned IP then. I put it this way. In fact, I'm kind of revising my answer from earlier. I think there's a chance it could go day and date everywhere. Only because only
Death
because
Stranding
it's Kojima. And like
yeah, see, like
PlayStation,
I'm looking at right now, the original Death Stranding, it was only like it was like not even like 6 months. It was from November 2019, the original release, right? And then on Windows, it was July 14th, 2020. So it wasn't that long after, just like a couple
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So on
I think
PC.
it could be day and date.
And then I don't know if this could be a
Uh,
thing with like 505 Games is publishing it. So that could also, be a factor. Who knows,
I
right?
I don't even think
So,
it's up to 505. I mean, I guess technically it is. Like they're the ones who have to make it happen.
mhm.
But I think Kojima's one of those people, and it works for 505 and Sony, that if Kojima says, "Hey, you know that contract we had? I don't want to do that."
Just say fuck it.
I don't. He could. I feel like he's one of those guys who could be like, "I don't want to do that
Has that
anymore."
power. He says that power to do it.
Because if he does that and he's like, I don't want to do that anymore, and Sony is like, well, too bad. Well, then good luck because you burned a bridge with Kojima.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like
he's too big to be like he's too big. He's just too big. Like you
exactly.
can't be telling him no. Like I'm sure there's certain legal things they probably have to still
Yes.
work around. Like he
Well, I'm
realizes,
I'm
like
sure Kojima signed some papers already.
Sure. Yeah.
So
no, I know what I'm saying is like
yeah.
is I'm sure he wasn't just like I want everything absolutely on my terms, no exceptions. Like I'm sure like there is some businessy shit done, right? There has to be. I don't
Mhm.
know how or what. Maybe they have more. Maybe PlayStation has rights of certain advertising for Death Stranding still, and
Mhm.
there might be some other things they get for it. I don't know, but yeah, I feel like what's his name is just too what's his name? It's too big to burn a bridge like that with. Like that's not
Yeah.
like just pissing off. It's not
With
like
the
EA and the
Animax,
Wii U
yeah.
during that generation. It was
Yeah.
this is not this is much bigger.
Yeah.
EA and Wii U had a weird relationship, but
Yeah.
And
Wii U
vice
sucked.
versa. Oh, sorry, Mike.
No, go on.
I was, but I was saying, and vice versa to that, to not just make it all, oh, Kojima owns PlayStation thing. Like, Kojima could do the exact same thing to Xbox with that OD game.
Yeah.
If he wants it everywhere, I feel like especially if you're at Xbox, you're
Yeah,
not in
Xbox, they
any
don't even care about their own first party
you're
IPs.
not
You know what I
in
mean?
well that, and also you're not really even in the position when it comes to like uh being having an end with Japanese developers to
Yeah, I
just
know,
be
right?
like, oh, we're gonna just say no to the biggest Japanese developer. Like that's just, you don't really have it. Like if he wants it everywhere, you kind of, I feel like you would have to
Never
work with
depend on
him to
me.
make
Yeah.
sure it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I don't know, maybe if that were to happen, you could work out some like exclusive perks for, you know, I guess in PlayStation's case for the PS5 or whatever. But like, if he wants it everywhere, I feel like that's the kind of guy you're gonna put it everywhere. Because quite frankly, like if I'm Kojima, that's a lot of money. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money because he's Kojima. Whether you like him or not, people buy his games. People are very excited for his games, and I feel like in that specific scenario, dude, it's just so dumb to lock it to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so dumb to lock it to one thing. Um, oh my
What
god,
was that?
are you all
I
Mike?
right?
hear that.
Well, you
Yes.
heard that?
That's
Yeah, you
fucking
heard that.
hysterical. I love
Uh,
that. Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Vine says, "I think it will be day and date on PC, but not on Xbox, so that it's
Um,
technically a console exclusive." Yeah, I totally can see that happening.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if it was coming to PC, it would have been announced already to be coming to PC. That's just me. Like,
I mean,
But
would
then
like
again,
I don't disagree, but like, did you actually think they were gonna give him his IP either?
I kind of disagree, Tuan, and I'll tell you why.
why?
But because
You're Canadian.
Sony wants to sell consoles, and if part of their contract was, if I mean, assuming there is a contract in place, right, for this to be a console exclusive for PlayStation, then you want people to, especially when you're releasing a PS5 Pro and everybody's like, well, God, should I get the Pro or should I get a PC? Like the
Mhm.
last thing you want to to influence that person's decision is to find out that, oh, Death Stranding's releasing day and date on PC. That's the
The
last
thing
thing
is,
you want.
though, but that's the not how Sony operates though. Like usually,
Huh?
if they do announce a game, right, and it is gonna have a PC version day and date, they'll usually have like at least a small little text at the bottom of the trailer saying, well, like, oh, console exclusive. Even the same thing with Silent Hill 2. When that game got announced, it was like very
Wasn't there like
small
a
font
thing
at the
about
bottom. You
Wukong
see
though
that.
still being time like an exclusive because Sony paid for it, but like there's a lot of like
Yeah, I don't know, there's like
things.
so much. There's so much like shit around that. People are like, "Oh, there is a deal. There's no deal. This that just I don't even know what's going on with that game." But I think it's could have been like a Chinese thing, like partnership as well. Like Sony Asia maybe made a deal, but maybe not the American
They
side. I don't
forgot
know.
to tell America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that actually has happened where the Asian side of like Sony makes exclusive deals with certain games, but the American side doesn't. Like that's actually has happened. I think the Yakuza games actually had an
So they
exclusivity
did make a
deal.
deal then.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal with is with Wukong, but I know some games have gone through that where
I
one region
firmly
got it.
believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're talking about Wukong now. I firmly believe that
Yeah.
Well, there was a deal for Wukong, because I find it. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that Xbox PR would be out making statements on a deal that exists between those developers and other companies that they're
Mhm.
not naming but are obviously Sony. I find it hard to believe that they would be making firm statements that
Mhm.
there is a deal in place if there wasn't a deal in place. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that could just be me being naive, but like I just find it hard to believe that they'd be so willing to say for sure, without a doubt, that there is a deal in place if there wasn't. But who knows? I mean,
But I also
that's
heard
all.
there's also the issue with the Series S where apparently there's like a memory leak with like Wukong.
Could
I don't even
be.
know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt
I
it.
heard a lot of
There's
stories about it.
I
I heard a
wouldn't
lot.
doubt it. It's probably a bitch to optimize that for. I mean, it runs
Yeah,
like ass
Game
on
runs
the
like shit
PS5.
everywhere.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Even the
horrible
PS4,
everywhere.
even the PS5 Pro can't even hold a lock 60.
It's it's fucking like that game is busted. They're using frame generation to get from 30 to 60 in the performance mode, and it looks terrible. It looks really bad. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, I could only imagine what trying to optimize it for the Series S, the issues that might present. Like
Yeah.
that's probably a terrible, terrible time.
Mhm.
Blind says, plus there could be new negotiations with getting the IP back. Yeah, I totally think that is a fair assessment. I
Yeah.
mean, if because it's kind of unprecedented, PlayStation just giving back an IP.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen often. In fact, this is as far as I'm aware, this is the only time that's happened. I'm sure it's happened before. I just don't know about it.
I
But
know Nintendo actually did something similar back with Wonderful 101 was like a Wii U exclusive. It's developed by
Oh
Platinum
my god,
Games.
Wonderful 101.
You remember that game?
Jesus Christ, yeah.
So then Platinum Games they wanted to self-publish the game, and they wanted to release a remaster of it, and they started a whole Kickstarter, and Nintendo actually sold them the IP back, and they were able to release the game also on PS4. In addition to releasing on Switch as well. So that's another situation that I could remember where that's happened. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I can't really recall, at least not on the top of my head, where has happened. So yeah, very
No,
unique
it's not.
situation for sure. Because it's not often that a publisher gives up an IP like that, where they usually don't do that often unless
Especially
they're selling
something
it
that
off.
big.
Yeah,
Something that big from a
yeah,
developer that respected
yeah.
or influential, I guess would be the word for that. But yeah,
Well,
it's interesting.
I
What's up?
guess Xbox selling off the Hi-Fi Rush IP could be also considered
Well,
that.
the
I don't
thing
know.
about that is
But I
Xbox
guess they
wasn't
won't.
going to sell off the hi-fi. They were just going to kill the studio and move on with it.
Yeah, I know,
And then
right?
somebody
So
came out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, and please, instead of killing the studio, can you please just give them to us?" And Xbox was like, "Oh, all right, sure." And
yeah,
then they
we'll
sold
get
them.
rid of
And then they
them
sold
right
them the
there.
IP. Because if it
Yeah,
was up
so
to
I guess
Xbox, like if you
they
left
would just let
Xbox
this
to
shit
their own
rot.
devices, they would
Yeah,
still own the IP, and Tango would just be dead, just be a dead
yeah,
studio.
it's insane.
So yeah, like I guess you could make that connection also, but then hey, Xbox is Xbox, and
Yeah, I mean
they do
they're
what
very
they do,
unique.
I guess.
They're a very unique case.
Yes, they're
Xbox right
very
now.
strange. They have their own way of doing things. Mm.
Yeah.
But uh,
Microsoft.
moving on from Death Stranding, uh, because I mean we talked about that for a while. Up next, I know something that Mike's probably seen today. At least I think you've seen it today, and if you haven't, then no big deal.
Oh, the
But did you
Indiana Jones
see?
one?
No, no, no. I
Oh,
haven't. In fact, I haven't watched. Let me take that back. I watched most of the Indiana Jones gameplay deep dive, just before the show started. I'm probably going to talk about that more tomorrow with Ham because quite frankly, I don't want to bring it up here and then like it not be like a real talk because I know you probably don't care too much. I know Mike is interested, but I know he hasn't watched it yet, so I don't want to like bring it up and then us talk about nothing. So,
yeah, I hear it.
but today, Stalker did put out recommended PC requirements.
Oh
Twan,
yeah,
you're in luck, bud, because your PC absolutely can't run this shit, buddy.
I can't run it.
Um,
Well, I
uh,
want to know what the fuck. What are the specs? Give me some deets.
before we do that, Twan, what are
Oh
your
my.
PC specs?
Uh,
Because I forget.
okay, I'm gonna pull up my Okay, I'm gonna just pull up my thing real
Because I'm
quick.
pretty sure you said you have like an i5 6500
Okay, how do I
or
go to
something.
properties? Go to properties. Okay, here we go. So, processor Intel Core i5 700 was 7500 CPU at 3.40 gigahertz,
Oof.
3.41 gigahertz. I don't know, whatever.
Okay. What's
Installed
it?
RAM. I got 16 gigabytes of RAM.
Okay.
Uh, and then I got that. What was that? I got that GPU.
Is
The
it a 16,
something super. The super one.
1660?
I think so.
Or is it a
1660
10?
Super. I
Well,
think it's the
okay, yeah, there was no
1660
1060 Super, so
Super.
you have a 1660 Super.
Yeah, I got
So
the
your
16.
GPU is fine to run the game on
I
low
think my GPU is
settings.
pretty sick. It's,
It's what?
I think my GPU is pretty sick. It sounds cool.
It's not sick. It's one.
Anything sick is bad.
Your your GPU is fine to run the game at low settings at 1080p 30 FPS. Your
Okay.
CPU, however, is not
Uh-oh.
okay to run the game at low settings at 1080p 30 FPS. So, unfortunately for you, bud, you're not looking good in that aspect. But you do have 16
So,
gigabytes of RAM.
but I do have a Steam Deck. Can I run that on the Steam Deck?
Uh, hey, it's worth a shot, I guess. It's worth a shot. I mean, hey, if you want to try it, be my guest. But to answer your question, Mike, so for low settings, 1080p 30 FPS, i7 7700K or Ryzen 5 1600X, so that's a pretty old processor. GPU GTX 1060 6GB or an RX 580 or an ARC A750. RAM 16 gigabytes, SSD across the board. It's I feel like it's probably not recommended but required for this game. And obviously you have the operating systems. Medium settings 1080p 60 FPS, i7 9700K, Ryzen 7 3700X, RTX 2070 Super, RTX 4060, or an RX 5700 XT. High settings. Now I'm somewhere in between the high and epic settings. Mike, you're at the epic settings. Okay, so the high settings 1440p 60 FPS, Core i7 11700 non-K, and a Ryzen 7 5800X. The GPU a 3070 Ti or 4070, and then a 6800 XT. And then on epic settings, which is 4K 60 plus FPS, they didn't really specify. They just said 60 plus FPS. 13700K or 7700X, a 4080 or a 7900 XTX. So, all in all, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
So for Epic, does that include ray tracing?
I don't know. They do not specify that. They just say this. It's just low, medium, high, and epic, and they say 4K at 60 plus FPS. And Blind asks, would my 10700K run high settings smoothly? What is your GPU, sir? I think you said you have
Just
a 3070. Not the Ti, right? Just the 3070.
Just the 3070.
So you'd be somewhere. Your processor, and in fact, your whole setup would be somewhere in between medium and high, if we're going off what they're telling us here, because the high is 11700. And then medium is the 9700K. So you're somewhere in between that, and then also you're in between the RTX 2070 Super and the RTX 3070 Ti. So you would be somewhere in between medium and high. But I would imagine whatever settings you have to play at, you will be able to play this game. I would imagine, unless it's just broken on launch, which is a very real possibility. But I would imagine you'll be able to play this smoothly at some form of settings, a mix of medium and high, maybe, on your computer. So that's good news. I mean, honestly, those specs are. I don't know. I kind of was expecting it to be worse, and I don't know if that's an indictment on just gaming in general today, or just to do with my just expectation. But I was expecting it to be a lot more demanding than what it is. Not to say that it's not. Not to say that it's not, but I just expected it to be more demanding.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So that's good to hear. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I think I might actually buy that on Steam. Because I can play it
Aren't
on
you gonna get a
console.
physical copy?
Well, I wanted to get a physical copy, but then when I went to, in fact, I'll double check that. But when I went to their website to look at like retailers to get like an actual physical edition of the version I want, because there's like 3 different versions. There's like the base version. There's the one in the middle that's like 180, which is the one I ideally would want. And then there's the one for like $390, like $400 almost, which is just a crazy fucking ultra extreme edition.
That's exotic. Holy shit.
Yeah, which is like for the
That's
Stalker.
Slav Ukraine.
Yeah, that's like the Slava Ukraine edition. But yeah, I don't got Slava Ukraine type of money. But even then, like it's out of stock. All those things are out of stock except for the base version. So I'm thinking I'll probably end up getting just like the Ultimate Edition. I mean, obviously digitally. I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to get it on Steam or on Xbox. And I'm thinking I'll get it on Steam because I can play it on Xbox with Game Pass, and I can always pick it up later on sale on Xbox. But if I get it on Steam, I can also do a sick experiment where I try it on my Steam Deck. And I don't think that's going to go well, but I can do it. I can totally do it. So I'm thinking I'll get it on Steam. maybe. And those required specs makes me a little bit more comfortable with the idea of getting it on Steam. So that's good news. Also, um, oh man, I feel like there's one more thing I wanted to talk about today.
Oh,
Dragon Age.
no, the South of Midnight was the game called again?
Well, yeah, South of Midnight did release a thing, which again, I'll probably be talking more in depth about because I haven't seen it yet. I watched most of the Indiana Jones gameplay deep dive, and I'm going to be watching after this. Immediately after this, I'm going to watch the South of Midnight documentary because it is a mini documentary. It's like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And then tomorrow I'll be talking about that with Ham. Oh my god, did you see Arc Raiders revealed gameplay?
No,
It's an extraction shooter.
thought we knew that.
I don't remember. I'm sure we did. I just don't remember it.
I forgot I actually got accepted into the beta when it went into like it had like a public closed beta thing. I don't know. I got accepted into
The
testing.
public or
I
is it
forgot
closed?
about it. I fucking don't remember. I just got accepted into it, and I was like, oh, and I forgot to play it because, well,
Rip.
I was playing. I think Dark Tide. I think that's what I was playing. That
Of course, play Dark Tide.
and Dragon Age.
Mike was
You play any
playing.
games where you're playing as a teenager in high school, Twan? I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm making fun
Mike
of you
was
like in
playing
Persona.
a good game.
Halo Infinite.
Oh.
Yeah, well, Halo Infinite is the greatest game of all time. I wouldn't simply call Halo Infinite a good game, Mike.
Your face.
Blind says the $400 edition comes with a canister of radiation.
I love that.
It
That's
comes
a
with
severed
nuclear
Russian. I
waste.
can't say
It comes with a piece of the elephant's foot from Chernobyl.
No
that.
man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hope you didn't hear. Oh my lord.
He says I've seen it. Looks good. Also, another beta you can sign up for again. So yeah, they're according to Blend, they're having another beta. So if you miss your chance, Mike, you can sign up for that one.
Dude, this Dark Tide is currently in the
No.
process of ruining my life. I don't
No.
want to play anything else.
You got to play Arc Raiders, Mike. It's a very good game, and I think you would very much enjoy it. That and finals. We got to play finals. Many hours of finals,
Dude,
Mike.
that game just makes me want to fucking blow my brains
No.
out. How about this? I'll play that when you play Dark Tide with me. How about that?
Yeah, but I don't want to play Dark Tide.
Fucking, I don't want to play the finals either, dumbass.
But we played the finals
Good
before.
game.
You like the finals?
No, I don't. Leave me alone.
You do. You like the
Leave
finals.
me alone.
You like
I like-
Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
Wait,
I'm gonna shove
finals
a
is still
Krabby Patty down
gone?
your throat.
The finals is still gone. I thought
Yeah.
you died.
No, that game's having kind of a resurgence with their latest season.
Okay, good for them, man. I thought it was over.
Yeah, the game's really cool. But no, I get what Mike's saying. The game can be a frustrating mess. It can be a very frustrating time. Dude, especially if you try to queue by yourself. My God, you might as well just give up, honestly.
Yeah,
At
you
that
need
point.
people to play with. You need people to play with because it's not a good experience.
Yeah. Oh, man. But I think that's the show, unless I'm missing something.
And you want to talk about Dragon
Blade-
Age again? Was there anything about
Stellar
that?
Blade will come to PC in 2025. It's been confirmed. So that's exciting.
So Mike said Dragon Age. What'd you say, Dawn?
I said Stellar Blade will come to PC in 2025. It's been confirmed.
Oh,
Just,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Stellar Blade is confirmed for PC.
That's it, man. That's
And I
good.
saw-
Man, the fucking mods are gonna go crazy with that.
Oh, dude, there's gonna be some
Very
really
cooking.
degenerate mods. There's gonna be some really just
True.
just
I feel
sick mods for that.
I feel like Steam is like the perfect platform for that game. I don't know why. I just feel like Steam is just filled with gooners. I don't know why.
Board games. I mean, other than that, it'd be the Switch eShop because I mean the amount.
Oh
of
yeah,
board games-
dude.
Yeah, it's Switch and Steam.
The
those
Switch
are- that's
eShop
like-
is basically Pornhub.
Dude, I don't know what the hell's going on in that store, dude. I really don't.
There's like no
Like,
regulation in that store at all. They just
That's
put
the crazy
anything on
part.
there.
Yeah.
Like it's like I like Nintendo like, yeah, we can't have our IP being seen like this. Meanwhile, you go to the fucking eShop and you're seeing some fucking anime girl being bent over a fucking table or some shit. What the fuck
Yeah, and
is
that's
this
just
Go to
crap?
the
and that's just
anime
being
shop and
displayed. Yeah.
you're just looking at like sloppy tits 13 or whatever the game's called.
Dude, it is.
and Nintendo's worried about their image. It's like, dude,
Yeah, like
get it
it's
together.
weird.
Fix your shop first, bud. Um, but yeah, that actually is pretty big news. I also saw the developers of Stellar Blade say they expect a bigger audience
Hmm.
than just
Well,
launching on console.
they made like a Wukong like comparison as well with like, oh, you see how
Yes.
Wukong they sold like 10 million, whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
So,
And
but
this,
then again, I don't know. I feel like it's a different scenario with that game. I don't know, man. Just man, the Chinese were just on board with that game, like Wukong.
and this
They all
is,
showed up.
but the difference is that this is Wukong, but for Gooners.
Yeah, so who knows?
So
Might even do better. Yeah.
exactly, it could. What did Wukong get? Like a
Why
million
can't I have a
concurrent
game like
players?
that but with Earth and Link?
10 million. Was it
No.
10 million sales? I think, or some shit like
This is
that.
Persona.
This game's gonna sell 50 million on Steam alone. It's gonna be the biggest Steam sales ever. What's Counter Strike at? I mean, I know it's a free to play game. We'll call it like what is it, like 50 million if you had to guess. Well, it's gonna sell 100 million copies. Put it that way. It's gonna
Base.
sell double it because boobs and a butt. But yeah.
Base.
And Mike, you said
Dude,
Dragon Age.
Yeah, didn't you want to talk about it a bit more? Like you're like, oh, you already did,
Yeah,
really?
I
yeah,
talked
we
about
can
my
talk about
thoughts.
it, yeah.
I
I'm
didn't want to make that too long because I know we opened the show with Dragon Age twice in a row the past 2 weeks.
well, I will
Yeah,
say
this is
that I played a little bit more last night and I did actually have a lot of fun. I think the game's getting much better now the more you kind of get like settled into the shit that I like about BioWare games. But I'm gonna keep it real with absolutely everyone here. I shouldn't say, oh, but I like BioWare games. Like from the BioWare game I only played, which was Star Wars: The Old Republic. I put 100 hours into that game and thought it was a masterpiece. They're incredible storytellers, like unbelievably good at storytelling, in my opinion. And it took a little while in Dragon Age for me to see the same like
Steve.
you know yeah it took a little bit to get there, but I'm there now and I'm enjoying what I see.
Nice.
Like, and I
pretty
really
cool.
recommend, dude, like genuinely, like checking out Star Wars: The Old Republic sometime. I know it's an MMO, I know, but like that game has really, really good story beats. Like I was actually surprised how good that game is. To be honest with you.
I believe you. I believe you. BioWare is very good with story. I and what's actually hilarious is after I beat Veilguard, like I said, I wanted to go into Death Stranding and maybe stream some of that here on the channel. But what I ended up doing was playing Mass Effect.
Okay.
I'm playing Mass
Unless
Effect
you're in that
now,
mood. Yeah.
and I mean I'm absolutely not gonna beat 1, 2, and 3 before Stalker
Yeah.
2 comes out. But I could probably get through Mass Effect 1 again before Stalker 2 comes out, and maybe at least part of Mass Effect 2. But I've been playing that. I played a little bit of that today. I mean, obviously it's Mass Effect. It's incredible. But yeah, like I also even thought about starting a new character on Dragon Age. That's how sick I am. I thought about
Yeah.
making. In fact, I did. I haven't played much on it, but I did make a new character on Dragon Age. I made a mage on Dragon Age. But
Proud of you.
yeah, that
Well, I can't
game.
say anything because I'm definitely gonna start another playthrough of Metaphor soon, so I can't really say anything. So
God,
we're in the same situation.
we're a
See,
bunch
speaking of
of.
Metaphor, that's right. You gotta start playing Metaphor again. That's right, Matt.
I
You
can't play
gotta
Metaphor before stuff, dude. There's no possible way I'm beating that game before Stalker comes out. There's just no possible way. I'm
oh, no,
not
I
even
beat
going
it.
to try.
I beat it, and Stalker
Yeah,
2 is
but
still
you
coming.
played it like a maniac. I can't play that game like that. I can't put it this way. I can't play that game the same way I play Dragon Age, because if I did, I would drive myself insane, and I probably wouldn't want to play it anymore. So, and I don't want to do that for a game that I spent full price on. I don't want to play it so much that I hate it and I can't stand it and I never want to see it again. So I'll get back to that game probably after like Indiana Jones
2025?
or something.
Yeah,
I'll get back to
2025.
that after Indy. But yeah, Dragon Age is great. Check that out.
There's
Did
actually
I?
one thing
What's?
I want to bring up. There's one thing I want to bring up. It's not. It's gaming obviously related, but it's not really like news in the sense where like a company would announce it or anything like that. But it's something that's kind of been trending on Twitter that I just found so funny.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
I'm sure you
A
guys
lot
have
of
probably
cool things are
seen this too.
trending on Twitter right now.
No, but
is,
it
it,
is gaming. It is
is it a
gaming related.
beheading?
Okay,
It is gaming
Okay.
related. But you guys know the piglet from Winnie the Pooh, right?
yeah.
The character.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened was
Winnie
this
the
game is
Pooh.
trending where it's called Piglet's Big Game, right? And it's released on like the PS2 and Xbox, not Xbox, GameCube, and PS2 back in like 2003. And this game got trending all of a sudden because if you actually look inside of it, it's straight up like Silent Hill. Like it's just so
That's
it's just so
hysterical.
bizarre, right? Like the music is like, it's got like it's got the whole camera setup, where it's like all the fixed camera angles and like the ambience is just like on point, and it's just people are like, what the hell, everyone's just freaking out over this game to the point where this game was like $10 on eBay. Listing just sold for $300 just right now because I mean,
Jesus.
people are just so fascinated by this game. It's just so funny just seeing this, and like I've seen like multiple posts and there's like 100K likes each. It's insane. Like I'm honestly surprised you guys haven't even seen it if you guys haven't.
I'm
I
not
don't
really
think I
on
have.
social media at all
Yeah, that's
anymore. I'm
fair.
kind
Honestly,
of
good on you, man.
Yeah. I haven't been on Twitter too much outside of like checking some
Yeah.
things here and there, but I haven't been scrolling the way I normally uh,
But yeah,
do.
it was just funny saying that.
Uh,
I mean,
Speaking of eBay, did you guys see that PS5 Pro scalpers are losing money?
oh my god,
Which is
that's
just, it's beautiful to see. Just because fuck
yeah.
scalpers. Just
yeah.
fuck them.
Sony finally realized how to defeat the scalpers. Just to release a console no one wants. You know.
That's hysterical.
They
Yeah.
made the scalpers kryptonite.
Yeah.
Just release the worst console you possibly can.
But not even the Portal had this problem. Even the
That's
Portal.
hilarious. Dude,
Like,
because I was like, I randomly opened Twitter to check something, and it was like the first tweet I saw was like, scalpers are losing money. And it was like a screenshot, like PS5 Pros
really
going for like
discounting
$650, $600. And I'm just like, dude, this is
it.
hilarious. That serves you right, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I've got for today's show.
Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto's apparently getting fixed.
Yes,
Definitive edition.
and
Well,
I'll have a video on that out this week, but I'll have it out before my Dragon Age review. Put it that way. Oh my god. But I'll
You
have
just
that
put some
out.
inflammatory things in the title to get like people clicking on it in their age that you
The
like.
best GTA game of all time.
No. I'm talking about Dragon Age.
Oh, dude,
Be
what's
like, this
hilarious?
game's a masterpiece, and then put that in the title, and like make a face like you want looking at the game case.
Well, what's
Like,
hilarious is I
I love
am gonna
that.
make a thumbnail. Well, I'm not gonna put my face and a big dumb look on my face in there, but I'll
Oh,
probably
come on, do it
put
like the other guy.
yeah, like the other many
Yeah,
people.
like the Dreamcast guy. Like we just.
Oh my god,
That
forgot about that, man. Didn't he sell his like girlfriend? Like,
Yeah.
was so
fucking
hilarious.
he scanned his
He
girlfriend.
ripped his girlfriend off. Oh my god, that
And
was.
he just proudly admitted it. It was just like,
He's
I don't
like,
know,
thank you. He's like, shout out to my baby. She bought my PS5 off me for $500. I'm like, you ripped off your girlfriend, you piece of shit.
like
I can't believe you did that. Do you not love her? What's wrong with you? Oh my god! And what's hilarious though is when we were talking, when you guys were talking, when you were talking about Dragon Age just a second ago, Mike. I checked my
yeah.
YouTube notifications, and I have a notification on my Series S Dragon Age video. This guy simply says ultra woke game. That's all he says. So shout out
The
to
absolute brain on that man.
shout out to at I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. Felipe's Carvola is his name. Carvola8790. Shout out to you. Thank you for the comment. Engagement is always very much appreciated here on the channel. Vort
Right
in the
out.
chat. Appreciate you for stopping by, buddy. Sadly, we are about to get up out of here, though. So I do apologize for that.
I'm just kidding. I'm
But
sorry.
we do appreciate you nonetheless for it. But before we get out of here, we got to do the outros. So, Twan, I'm picking you first. Start us
All
off.
right.
Let them know where they can find you, what you're up to.
All right, you can find me here on Tuesday, I guess. No, I guess this is a Tuesday show now.
It seems like it. It really seems like it. Dude, every week I'm like, we have it Monday. And then yesterday I'm like, shit. First of all, I'm running late yesterday. I didn't get dinner started till like 7:15. And then after that I was like, oh yeah, the Cavs play. I'm like, if it was the Cavs in any other season, I'd be like, okay, fuck it. I'll do the stream and watch the game at the same time. But the Cavs are undefeated, and I have to see them play. I have to be entirely focused.
You have to be locked in.
And apparently every week they play on a Monday now. So there's that. So maybe we'll go back to Monday next week. I don't. In fact, before I even say anything, let me double check that schedule.
Yeah, we'll see. Monday or Tuesday. So
Sunday. Let's see. Friday, Sunday, Tuesday they play. So Monday we'll have our show. We will have our show Monday. So look forward to that. Like Twan said, you'll find him here for that every week. Appreciate you, Blind, in the chat. Mike, let them know. Hashtag let them know.
I'm taking actually a break from Twitter for a bit. It's became. I mean, it's always been this way, but some of the stuff I've been seeing on my For You page that are being paid by Twitter or get paychecks from Twitter, and the things I am seeing, I'm taking a break from that website. I really don't have any social media to push at the moment, but I will let you guys know when I do. And like, I made a new one on a different site, but I'm kind of even wondering, do I even give a shit anymore? So
yeah,
you'll see me here whenever we have the next show, and it probably somehow for some reason gets pushed to Tuesday. Have a great night, guys.
Well, if it gets pushed from Monday, it's not Tuesday. I'll tell you that. So
Didn't I say it?
Well, what's going on Tuesday?
No, the joke was that it's gonna get pushed to Tuesday.
Okay.
It's not getting pushed Tuesday. If it doesn't happen Monday next week, it's not happening. I'll tell you that. And it's happening Monday because I mean, I just feel like, wait, when does Stalker 2 come out? No, it comes out Wednesday. Okay, so whatever. It'll happen Monday. But as for myself, obviously you can find me here every week. Podcasts every week. This show normally on Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's the two-player podcast with myself and Ham Solo. And then Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, you can find me on Ham's channel with Loke, Ham, Cozy, Mental 9R, and usually a guest for Bullshit, and that's Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Link to that channel in the description, TSWS Gaming. And then videos every week here on that channel. Like I said, I'm working on a Dragon Age Veilguard review. I'll also have a video out for GTA. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do each one individually or just do them all in the same video. I don't know yet. But I'll have the definitive edition video out for Series S. Try to have it out tomorrow night. So look forward to that. And yeah, that's where you can find me. We're going to get up out of here. Thank you all for watching. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.